Lord, bless us today as we gather. Help us make some great decisions today as all 17 of these people come here with the hearts for the Cherokee Nation. We appreciate you, Lord. Help us get through this. Amen.
Yes, sir. Keith Austin.
Here.
Wes Snowfire. Harley Buzzard. Joe Bird. Julia Coates. Sean Crittenden. Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins. Cannon Duncan. Rex Jordan. Darrell Legg. Dora Petskowski. Mike Shambaugh. Mary Bakershaw. E.O. Smith. Janice Taylor. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
Okay. Thank you, Shelley. I'd entertain a motion to move for approval of the minutes of the March 15th meeting. All in favor, say aye. Thank you. We have Miss Diane Kelly online, I see, joining us today. Hello, Diane. Good to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I apologize for not coming down. I had my first COVID shot, and I'm running a little bit of a temperature, so I decided I didn't want to come down there at this point in time, but I'll see you next month.
Well,
I promise.
Well, thank you for being here the way that you can.
I just wanted to report that you've got my report, and it shows all the training that we're doing with the linemen, the fiber optics, and we've got a lot of stuff going on in health. We are in the process of working with administration on the meat processing. We hope to have some sort of training going on out there at the processing plant for meat processing, and we're hoping that we can obtain a meat processing trailer that we can use for classroom that can be moved around to various locations once we get all this up and running. We're in the process of trying to get that established. We also are looking at the masonry, septic tank, all of the different things in, with building some cement forms and things of training. So we've got some more things that we can share with you probably next month. We just don't have all the bugs worked out of it yet, but we're working on that. We hope to expand our office services up in the northern area. We'll be having a ribbon cutting in our Stillwell office. I visited with Chief Staff Todd Enlow, and after we get our prints up in all of our offices, our pictures and everything, and we get some more furniture, we'll be scheduling that for sometime in Stillwell. I'd say sometime the end of May. And then we have our initial walkthrough in Pryor this Friday. We thought it was going to be last Friday, and we'll be working with C&B and Mid-America on that to schedule something probably, I would say, the end of May or first part of June for that office. And then we're looking at some space in Veneta, and we'll be trying to get offices up there, and Jennifer Kirby is going to put a couple of offices in there with us. And then we will be expanding into Bartlesville to try to get an office established so that we can do field days up there. So we're moving in the northern area to try to get more services up there, and we're working with the administration on trying to get some training up and running for some of these other avenues of training, like the meat processing. And we're also working with Chief of Staff and the PPE in Stillwell and for Holbert. So we're busy.
I should say you are. Do we have questions for Diane today? Diane, anytime you're in person, they have 10 minutes worth of questions, and when you're virtual, they never do. So I don't know what that says.
Hey, that's okay with me. Most of them will either come by or they'll call. So maybe I've answered all their questions prior to the meeting, I hope.
You must have. Well, thank you for the good work, and stay well.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Next is Executive Director Corey Bunch.
Good afternoon, everyone. I believe you have our report, and I would be glad to answer any questions. I also have a couple of things highlighted here. Chairman Austin, if that's okay.
Please.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to those who listened in and participated in the Public School Appreciation Day. I know we had some photos with the checks a couple of weeks back. Just as a refresher or reminder, we gave $6.3 million to public schools, to 107 public schools in our reservation boundary. Superintendents are always very excited about this program, and I assure you it's one of the best days of their entire school year. So thank you for that support. Part of that was an announcement we made that we contracted with a company called Varsity Tutors. Varsity Tutors will provide one-on-one online tutoring for students in kindergarten through 12th grade within those public schools that we support through that motor vehicle tax program. We are working with the superintendents now to get them that information for logging on and such. The program also allows for small group and large group instruction, as well as a host of online support systems. So it's a very terrific program. And Counselor, I think you asked me about that several months ago, and I assured you we were working on it.
It's good to hear you. It's
Yes.
coming to free.
Also, wanted to let you guys know that the valedictorian, salutatorian scholarships has been extended, that application's been extended till April the 16th at 11:59. We noticed, for whatever reason, those numbers were down a little bit compared to the previous years, so we extended that just a little bit longer. That's for high school seniors. I've had several of you contact me about the stoles for the college graduates. If you have anyone that has contacted you about that, please let us know their name and numbers, and we'll contact you. Counselor Critton, I think we need a name on the last one you sent us. So.
Sure. If it's about that, if it's about.
I was gonna ask you if he swung off that grapevine he used to swing off.
I'm way too heavy for that now.
Hey, I bet, all right, on that particular one, Corey, I asked if she'd needed or I needed a phone number from you, or from them, and she said it all got taken care of. So until she contacts me again, we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Well, great. We like to take care of folks as fast as we can, and we like to make sure we're following through on all requests. So.
Appreciate it.
Let's see. On our report, I also wanted to mention that a while back, I think, Counselor Austin, you asked us about the top 10 schools.
Yeah.
We have that listed on our report.
I see that.
NSU is at the top of the list, and it doesn't say this at NSU, but I think we have just over 1,700 students attending NSU currently. I just wanted to mention briefly that at the last Intertribal Council Subcommittee for Education Services, that one of the resolutions on there was to issue basically our support of public school districts. It seems like they've been under attack again this year at the Oklahoma legislative session, and so they will they need our support, guys, and I appreciate you guys being behind these programs such as the Public School Appreciation Day and the other programs that we offer them. So just thank you very much for that support, Counselor. I don't believe I have anything else for education services overall. I'll be glad to answer any questions, and I can also say a few words about Sequoia, and I believe Verna may be on to represent Head Start.
Yeah, I understand. So we'll tackle education first and then Sequoia second. Are there questions relating to education report?
So you're going to do Sequoia report later?
Yes.
Okay.
Corey, you mentioned the varsity tutoring program. Is that something that the kids can log into from their home?
Yes, that's correct. It's going to be a total online system. They will actually enroll through their public school district, and then once they've got the login credentials, they'll work with the company directly. And I would say, I'd like to also say that's going to be available throughout the summer break as well. we know there's been a large learning loss because of the pandemic, and we wanted to offer these services as quickly as possible.
And when do you anticipate that coming online?
It's basically ready now. We just need to work with the public school districts to provide the access to logging on.
Anybody else with a question relating to the education department? Well, you want to just continue on with Sequoia?
Sure, I'd like to say just a few words about Sequoia. We're into our spring activities. And of course, that means golf and track for us right now at Sequoia. We got students who are doing very well, and we're so proud of them. We have also are underway with our state testing for the end of the school year. And we're going to wrap things up, if all goes well, on May the 14th. That will also be the night of our graduation, May 14th at 6:30. And our plan currently is to have that ceremony at NSU's campus. Be glad to answer any other questions that you may have about Sequoia.
Counselor Taylor?
I have one regarding the CCRSA funds. It says that Sequoia received $2.4 million. I'm just curious how that compares to previous years.
Well, this is totally different because this is part of the CARES Act fund. So in previous years, we did not have that. So we're doing our best to address the needs of the entire school campus, and that includes the academic school day, as well as things around the campus physically and also in the residential areas.
Okay. That's all I have, Chair.
All right, thank you. Are there other questions regarding Sequoia? Counselor Dobbins?
No, I just thought we should acknowledge a 2020 Sequoia graduate, Lexi Keys, just finished her freshman year of college basketball at Oklahoma State and was selected all Big 12 freshman team. That's the top 5 freshmen in the entire Big 12.
Wow,
Awfully big deal.
that is a
Thank
big deal.
Yes, thank you. Lexi was a terrific student athlete, and we're very, very proud of Lexi and the others who have come before her.
Anything else? Wes?
Coming up on the end of this year, how are we looking for next year as far as, I think there's 2 still key positions that are looking for. I think we still lack a boys basketball coach and then superintendent down there.
Yes, we're definitely trying to get those things processed right now, and you know, the search has been going on for a superintendent for a while. So we've opened that position up. We've interviewed some candidates. We're trying to get that settled as quickly as possible. And also, we have a need for the head boys basketball coach and several other needs, actually, that we're taking a look at right now. As you know, the spring is the best time to start looking for those candidates before they accept jobs in other places. So all of those things are on our to-do list and our radar, and we're trying to get those taken care of as quickly as possible.
Okay, perfect. And then I guess you guys, I know I spoke with Speaker whenever he had addressed it with us on sending the letter. I think you may have probably a comment. I guess, did we get the letter sent off? And I guess we're waiting from our statement back from the OSSAA for next year.
We did. Chief of Staff Enlow, I believe, has already sent that letter off. And we all kind of took a look at it and gave our input and sent that letter off to Mr. Jackson at the Athletic Association.
Is there a timeline on when we might hear back from them regarding the letter?
I don't know when they might respond, but we plan to follow up with them, and also to, if they have any questions for them, we'd love to be able to meet with them in person and address any thoughts that they may have. I appreciate the support of the Tribal Council and the Cherokee Nation Administration, Chief of Staff Enlow, for working on this with us. It's very important. We're not asking for anything that's, too broad. We really would like to have the students who are already there at Sequoia, we'd like for them to be able to return without penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you guys got that letter sent out there. I think we were all in support of it too, and at least I know I was, being a former student there. I'm looking forward to getting things back and full run of things, full swing of things for students out there. Any kind of help or anything that I could do being from there and going to school there. Even coaches, I went to school with all all the players that we won state there. I know a few of them gone and gone into athletics themselves, and probably know some other coaches that might be in line with how Indian ball's played up there. So, you know, if you have any questions, or if I might go looking on my own, if I come up with some names, I might send those over to you as well.
We appreciate that, Councilor No Fire. We always appreciate all the good names that we can get for openings at Sequoia. We definitely want to hire the very best that's out there available to us. And again, we appreciate your support with Sequoia. Sequoia's got a great tradition. Chief of Staff Enlow and I were talking just the other day. Coming up very soon, I believe it's in October or November, is the 200th anniversary for Sequoia's founding, is when the council at that time put it into law as coming on. So 150. See, I don't know what I'd do without Chief of Staff Enlow, but 150. So that's a very big deal. I mean, guys, we've as a tribal nation, we've been taking care of our kids for a long time, and since actually before removal, but especially right after removal, that's one of the first things that we got started back up was our seminaries in 1850. So.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, comment. Mr. Bunch, I'd like to commend you for taking on the dual role that you have had. You've done really a fantastic job under the circumstances, the superintendent, executive director, and we appreciate, you know, for stepping into that position as well. And I know there's a search out there, and I was going to mention the 150 year of Sequoia as well. Sequoia is a very unique place, and I've had the opportunity to send my son there, but my girls I sent to Tahlequah. I did my own assessment on how that was going to work out. Socially, you know, that's why I sent my girls. They did extracurricular activities at Tahlequah High School, where they were limited there at Sequoia, but they won a state championship at Sequoia during that time. It's a place where it's a family atmosphere. The bus drivers, the cooks, the custodians, it's a family there. And, you know, I went to high school, Muldrow High School. I didn't. My parents would not let me go there because at that time it was a disciplinarian school for us to go to Sequoia. But they didn't look at it that way. And it's really come full circle in the past 20, 25 years. Now there's a waiting list of people that want to go to Sequoia. And I think even one of the young girls that went to Fort Gibson transferred to one of the most prestigious schools in the state of Oklahoma and played ball there, made All-State under those circumstances, made All-State. And that's really quite an achievement. But yet, she wants to come back and graduate here at Sequoia High School. Now, that's pretty awesome for her to do that because Fort Gibson just really took her in and took care of her. And Lexi Keys, again, was mentioned earlier. Very few people go and perform at that level there. And they played against the #1 team in the nation, Stanford, on national TV, ESPN. And she really did an outstanding job and scored 12 points as a freshman. She's second leading scorer on the team. So it's a place that I support and I always have. And I support all the schools, being a former educator. But I'm glad we're getting it back to where it is because the parents, the community, without Sequoia being active, we went a whole year without it. It really had an effect because in the Indian world, that's what we do. We play sports, we eat, and when you go to Sequoia ball game, it's more than the final score. We socialize there because there's all these different communities that come there, from Marble City, from Kenwood to Oaks, Moody. Every small community shows up at the Sequoia ball game, and it's a place for us to go. And we didn't have that for a whole year. And mentally, there's a lot of our people feeling those effects on the flip side of it. Had more to do than just playing ball. They had what happened to our social life that we didn't have for a whole year. But we did the best that we could, and I just want to thank you, Mr. Bunch, for joining us and doing what you're doing. You've done an outstanding job. Now back to the graduation. I didn't hear all of that. Would you repeat how we're going to do that for Sequoia this year?
I sure would. Thank you, Speaker Byrd, for the kind words and the support of Sequoia Schools. It is a very special place and a very special place in my heart. I was principal there many, many years ago, and it's just great to see the constant outpouring of support from past alumni and other people. But our plan is to have a graduation ceremony on Friday, May the 14th at 6:30 p.m. on NSU's campus at the football field there, so that we can be out in the open and as social distance as possible. And so we're putting together that program now, and we should be sending that out to you guys very, very soon.
Good news. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
One last round, anybody? And is that it for you?
That is it, sir. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Well, thank you. I believe Verna is here with us online today. Is that correct?
I'm here.
We're not seeing you yet.
Oh, I'm on the screen. Can you hear me at least?
Yes?
There we go.
Okay.
Hello, Verna.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry I missed you all last month. There was some technical difficulties. I got to watch, but I couldn't connect or something happened. But anyway.
Verna, would you mind, hold up for 1 second, Verna. Is it, if, I cannot hear Verna. Can we get volume?
Okay, let me try it from this end.
No,
Is this better?
it's a little bit better. I think it's on our end, not yours, but do your best. I can hear you, it's just not very loud. I should be more clear.
Well, now she's mad. She's not gonna talk at all. That's right.
Go ahead.
How
Well,
about now?
If you turn your mic off, her voice comes through your speaker, so you may be able to hear better than.
Okay, try again. Okay. Well, I'm sorry I missed you all last month. We had technical difficulties then. But what I wanted to say last month is that was the first day that our children returned. There was a lot of crying going on. And today, a month later, they've all adjusted and are back in the routine as if they didn't miss a year. And our teachers are doing a great job. I want to say kudos to them all this time waiting on them in anticipation of them returning. And so this week, we're kicking off Week of the Young Child. In the world of early childhood, this is a significant week to say thank you to the teachers and show how much we appreciate them. We made up some bags and we're handing them out, hand delivering them. That's where I would be if I weren't here. But we appreciate our teachers and the fine job they do. And especially the ones at Tahlequah Public School, because they've been in session all year long. I believe I reported that to y'all before, but I can't thank them enough for literally carrying the program all year long, not missing a day, serving the 3-year-olds down there, as well as all the other 4-year-old classrooms that Tahlequah Public School serves. So if you get a chance, thank a teacher, a preschool teacher, a Head Start teacher, especially the ones at Tahlequah Public Schools who have represented Cherokee Nation and Head Start from August till May 12th is their last day. But as well, I'd like to say how much we appreciate full staff returning May 15th. We're at full force now, such as we are with all the openings we have. We've lost a few as a result of the COVID, and unfortunately, we have literally lost 2 of our staff, and one you'll know very well or miss very much if we ever get to have our sit-down Thanksgiving lunch with Russell Davenport, one of our cooks in the Children's Village, passed in December, in fact, Christmas Eve. So we still miss him. And Betty Carey, the family advocate from Salina, she was a 22-year Head Start veteran. Russell had 17 years, I believe, but they'll both be missed sorely. But I want to say how much we appreciate Cherokee Nation and what a fine place it is to work on behalf of the staff that were off all year long, sheltering in place. Some of them we might, we protected them that way, and it goes so appreciated. And I want to say for National Head Start, this March was the month to promote vaccinations and try to find a place that was giving vaccinations. And I think we take so much for granted around here because some Head Start programs have had difficulty trying to get their staff vaccinated. And ours is simply by making an appointment. So I want to say thank you to all of the health department people and all of our folks that make life easy at Cherokee Nation and the administration. And I want to say a special thank you to Mr. Bunch. Just like Councilman Nofire has an allegiance to Sequoia High School, it's really, really nice to have someone in your corner like Mr. Bunch, who is also, Mr. Nofire, a graduate of Cherokee Nation Head Start. So he really is supportive of the program. And I speak for all of the education folks in thanking him for his leadership and returning to pay back, which Head Start is all about. So he learned at a very young age to come back and pay it forward. I want to just say how proud we are of our Binax Now testers. We have 13 in the program, and there is a tester at every one of our sites. So we have testing every Wednesday like clockwork, and we appreciate that crew to do all of that for us. But also in March, I want to say I celebrated 37 years in my position, and I love it as if it were the first day on the job. But that concludes my report. I'll entertain any questions that you might have.
Well, that was a good report, and it's very good to hear you've been able to keep your staff going through this, and our hearts ache for those staff members who you lost.
Yes.
Are there questions for Verna today? Wes?
Just a comment, I really appreciate all the things that you guys do down there. My daughters, they've been enrolled in the 3-year-old program at Sequoia Elementary there in Tahlequah. And it's just, those kids come in there, you see them, you drop them off at school. My kids not one time have not said, I don't want to go to school. And, it's a lot for a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old kid to get out of the car and go into a place they don't know a whole lot of people. And they made that really inviting there at those schools. And I think that comforting factor of knowing that the tribe's always been behind helping those set that up. And your staff has done a really, really good job there. And every kid leaves the school happier than they got dropped off there. So it's really made an impact on our lives, helped us out. And I know that it's helped out a lot of our citizens. So just want to say, what on?
Well, appreciate those kind words. I will convey the message, and I think our folks are special people. Teachers are special, but when you're in pre-K and early Head Start and the babies that can't talk, it's a calling, not a job.
I suspect Councilor Byrd wants to
One
speak.
comment. Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this. I thought you were Head Start, Rosie. You weren't? Okay. Well, my 3 kids went to Head Start, so I can't say enough about it. But I have to remind you, Verna, you've always taken care of us in November, but we left one council member out that did not get a pie. That's the guy to my left, so you owe him one.
Who is it?
Yeah, EO, he did not get a pie. So if you don't deliver within the next meeting, then council members going to have to ante up. So I just thought I'd let you all know. But thank you, Mr. Chair.
Maybe he gets 2 this November.
I promise he will get a pie in May.
Are there any other questions? Verna, thank you for 37 years of dedication to the children of the Cherokee Nation. We are fortunate to have you.
Thank you so much. And everybody I work with makes it easy. I truly love all the folks I work with, and we are definitely a family, as Councilman Byrd spoke of. We're a family here, and I don't know what I'd do without them. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, it definitely starts at the top. Thank you again. Anybody reporting for her today, is there? Well, I see Tara Lee's coming in the door. I'm assuming that means Tara Lee will take any questions back.
That is correct.
Are there any
Janice had an
questions for the
emergency.
foundation? Yes, Counselor Shaw?
How many scholarships this year from the foundation are going to at-large?
Okay.
Anything else? Well, I see none, so that shouldn't be too hard for you to remember that one. All right. Well, last month we had on the new business was a discussion and presentation for the online concurrent opportunities offered by Rogers State University and sponsored by the Cherokee Nation. That was very frustrating. Technology did not work very good for us today, so I've invited them back. Would somebody like to introduce that, Counselor Taylor?
So this is for discussion only, presentation on the online concurrent opportunities offered by Rogers State University and sponsored by the Cherokee Nation.
Do we have a second? Thank you. There he is. Royal?
We have Royal.
Nick. I would like to introduce Clarice, too. She apparently is the shy one.
Oh,
These are the two folks who've made RSU TV and the Cherokee One program work. So it's Clarice Doyle and Royal Els. Royal is the director of RSU TV, and Clarice is the one who actually gets the work done.
That's the truth. Thank you to the council for allowing us to come over and present, which I hope will be a much better presentation than what we tried to last month. I'm in the world of TV. Technology is not my life. I'm behind the desk. So when you ask me to do something like that, it's almost out of kilter for me. But today I think will be a much better presentation. So let me start. And this is really all wraps up into our distance learning channel. And this is how this all began. It was because of the Cherokee Nation. Public television is mandated by Congress to be education. That's what we're supposed to do, is be educationally based since 1968. And that's what we have tried to do at RSU Public Television, is really be education central. And this is how this has all come about. Our DLC is a televised broadcast and digitally accessible platform for teacher-led accredited concurrent college telecourses approved by the university. Our DLC classroom will provide an enhanced access to higher education opportunities to all students in Northeast Oklahoma. Classes began in the spring of '21. The classes that we're offering concurrent, which is really unique because it's psychology, American government, soon to be Algebra 1 and Cherokee 1, and then coming Cherokee 2. In 2018, I met with a couple of counselors, with Mr. Austin and Janice. I wanted to develop a better relationship between the station and the nation. I'm a call cord boy, so my family's married into the tribe. And I just love the fact that what this nation does for the people of our community is fantastic. And I wanted that to reflect that on the TV station. How can we connect and make a stronger relationship? They came up with some things. We decided to dedicate the Cherokee language to broadcast television. Now you may think, well, how does broadcast TV teach classes? Well, when the university put the TV station on the air in, 1985, 87, it was teaching classes over broadcast then through the 90s until the internet came about. We had 3,500 students enrolled through broadcast television taking classes from math to science to history. When the internet came about, we moved to public television. My goal was to find a way to get back to that. And through this conversation, we thought Cherokee Nation and RSU TV can come together and create the Cherokee language curriculum to teach the language. So in the summer of 2018, we got with Wade Blevins, and we created 48 class lessons that were planned for that would meet higher education standards through the university. Students enrolled through the Cherokee Nation would receive a certificate only. This is the plan where it began. They would only receive a certificate. But here's the results from that summer. During that year, we had over 250 viewers watching us on the broadcast every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We totaled 4,000 viewers throughout that two-semester course. Digitally, we had over 18,000 viewing it on our YouTube channel, and we had over 5,000 coming to our website to view. Then the pandemic hit, changed everything. When the pandemic hit and all the schools closed, Sequoia Public Schools, Claremore Sequoia came to us and said, we don't want PBS learning, we want teachers in the classroom. Tulsa Public Schools said, we don't want PBS learning, we want teachers in the classroom. So we put together the curriculum to teach science, math, history, all from the classroom during that 6-week period. And we had huge results from that. We had over 13,000 kids watching us throughout the 22 counties that the TV station serves. So we created the at-home learning, and it's all on our channel 35.2. So we had classes Monday through Friday, 9 to noon. We had over 140 30-minute classes that spanned over 13 weeks. 13,000 viewers, or kids, watched us from grades 3 to 6. And online, we had over 39,000 people tuning in to watch the classes. Well, that was a game changer. That's when Janice came and said, we want you to make this happen for our students, our citizens throughout Northeast Oklahoma, because we've learned rural Oklahoma doesn't have high-speed internet. So we need to make this by broadcast. So when the pandemic hit, game changed everything. Because we all know by FCC that only 4 out of every 10 homes have high-speed internet. You live in Tulsa, everybody has high-speed internet. You go to Concord, it's a flat line out there. Nobody has high-speed internet. So our goal was, how can we reach these kids? Everybody has a television, and everybody has an antenna. So you can get us by the antenna. So in June of 2020, we worked with the Cherokee Nation, and we created the platform of distance learning, our distance learning channel, where concurrent classes, including Cherokee 1, are deployed over the air for telecourses. I have a video here I want you to see. This is how the classes turned out.
Osio Nigod, Wade Levins Dawadon. Welcome to Beginning Cherokee 1. Here's a new word. Ganoji Gotlan. Degalt. There's a couple new words in there. Okay? So, Ganoji. Ganoji means leather. Ganoji. Leather. Gotlan. Made. So it's made of leather. Degalt. His little satchel there, right? One day, a handsome man arrived at their house, at their place.
Saul iga oskakakanti askai ylutse junenasa.
Yeah, good looking. Yeah, good looking.
Noi, mean it's sandy over there.
Sandy.
Noi, if you're talking about just saying noi.
Noi, just like a handful of sand.
Noi.
And could you say noiaha?
Noiaha means nigad.
Everything.
Is, you're middle of the desert.
In the middle of it.
Yes, we dog.
By learning to speak Cherokee, you truly will become more Cherokee, really, because you'll start to think that way, or at least you'll be able to understand why you think that way.
Yes.
You know.
So we deliver it over broadcast antenna in the classroom. We are also bringing it to the schools. So the deal we work with is when we reach out to Grove or we reach out to Veneta, we will let the schools know if the student wants to take the class at home during the regular hours that we broadcast, they can do that once they enroll through the university. Or, since most of this is already video on demand, we'll deliver it to the school. And if you'll let them take it in the classroom, a library, someplace where they can do it during school hours, it's going to be more productive. And so the schools are allowing us to come into to deliver this to their schools, so we have access to the school, we have access into their home, they have access to our website. We have multiple ways of delivering these concurrent classes, particularly Cherokee 1 and soon to be Cherokee 2. If they have an over-the-top box like Roku or Amazon Fire, we're delivering it through that way as well. So the only difference is that for the testing, because it's a concurrent class, there has to be a proxy to help them take the test. So they have to go to the school anyway and take the test and then turn it back in to the university to meet all the qualifications for the class. If they take it on broadcast or they want to come to the website and do it, this is what it looks like on our website. So they can click on every class. Again, it's video on demand, so it's on their time, their schedule of how they want to do it. As we all know, the benefits of this is that right now, tuition is free. The state is covering the cost of the tuition. The nation is generous to help the students with concurrent dollars to help them. So if you're a Cherokee Nation student, basically these concurrent classes are for free. So here's some things that are really remarkable. Since we started this in 2018, really over the last year and a half, on our YouTube channel, we've had over 105 views, almost 106,000 views of watching Cherokee 1, just from the folks in the 14 counties. On our website, we've had over 31,000 come to watch the classes. They're not enrolling. They're not doing anything but just wanting to learn. And at Rogers State, we've also made it for college credit on campus. Every class that's online has been full, which is pretty remarkable. What you have in your hand was sent to you, Clarice emailed a copy of these to you last week, but you can go through this. This is what we're sending to all the counselors in all the schools, so they understand how they can help their student enroll to get the funding they need from the Cherokee Nation and how they can get the funding covered from the state for the tuition. So it's pretty simple. Cherokee Nation, as Roy Boney told you last month, has gotten another grant from the feds for $120,000. That roughly works out to be about 100 more students to take the class. So we're actively out there trying to get the counselors to talk to their students. I had a counselor from Union Public Schools in Tulsa tell me, Royal, I've got 48 students who are Cherokee citizens, from freshman to senior. I've got to get them enrolled. How do we work this out? So I'm turning them over to the recruitment division of the university and say, you got to work with them because you can't let these kids slip through the cracks. And then a really cool story, the counselor at Grove was telling me for the last 2 years, they've been using Cherokee 1 as a supplemental to their language department, teaching the kids Spanish or whatever they're taking, as a supplement to what they're learning. No credit. They weren't using it for any college credit or any certificate. They just wanted it in the classroom so the kids can get used to hearing their language and getting them used to it, which was, to me, really phenomenal because I'd never even talked to any of the counselors at Grove. But they found it and they started to use it, which is pretty remarkable. On March 15th, we posted on our Facebook this Cherokee language for kids to enroll, and we had 18,000 acknowledged views on that Facebook promotion within 1 week. So the interest is high. We just have to get them pulled in. That's where you come into play. I need your help. I need you in your districts, in your communities, sharing this information with everyone you see that, hey, get your student, get your child enrolled. Get them, call Royal at this TV station, call Clarice at the TV station, so we can get them passed on to the right people to get them enrolled and get them in class. We are really trying hard to get this thing kick-started where we can get these kids enrolled and get them some college credit. Any questions? I have Clarice to answer questions, and I got one of our recruiters from the university to answer any questions from the university side.
Yes, I have a comment. Very, very impressive on how you're getting so much attention and people wanting to inquire about your program. When I look at what we have here at Cherokee Nation, when I look at the programs that Roy Boney, our consortium group, and our teachers out there, what we have in place, I'm beginning to see the age group that is really fluent in our language. And that age group, unfortunately, is around 50 and over. When I see that, just here in a few years, even our employees here at Cherokee Nation, when I saw the three speakers up there, you had Kathy Sierra, and you had Pettit, then you had Melvana Shotpouch. I'm not going to tell those ladies' age, but they're almost retirement age. And that's what I see on our staff here at Cherokee Nation. Most of the speakers are retirement age. Now, you see where I'm headed with this. Now, and what you're doing is very interesting. You have all of these people that are interested in this program. 35,000, all of your classes are sold out. Somehow we're going to have to start developing and use the data that you have, because, we've got 30,000 interested, but how many of those can we utilize and start using as part of our program? And the responsibility comes back on us as council members and the Cherokee Nation. And Councilor Crittenden has mentioned this several times when we have our language people in here. What incentives are they going to be available out there for these young people that get involved in the language, that want to teach it, learn it, or just utilize it in whatever capacity? It's going to be, if it ever happens, and I hope it doesn't, it would be very difficult for us to continue as a tribe if we have no speakers left. We truly become a corporation. And that's not the road we want to be on. So the more I study and look at what you have, it's very good. It's very, very, it's to be commended on what you guys are doing. But when I look at our staff here at Cherokee Nation, they could all retire. And if we don't do anything to keep them here and give them that incentive, then why would they stay? And one of the things I was going to ask the HR department is, how many Cherokee speakers do we have at the Cherokee Nation, 11,000 members, and they don't have to give me a name, but I would just say that make over $55,000 a year? And I'm not asking you guys, but that's just a question that I would ask them. So if we're going to think, if we're saying this is really a valuable, important part of who we are, how are we going to make it important for our youngsters? I've got a nephew that's 18 years old, and he's graduating, and we teach him a little bit. But I'm saying, you need to learn this, or you're just going to be a card carrier, whatever that means. Okay? I mean, when God created us, I think He created us with the language, not with the blue or white card. So my point is, we as a Cherokee Nation really have to strategically get together and think, how are we going to make it important for us to learn this language? And we're probably ahead of most tribes right now, but you guys are doing an outstanding job, and I want to commend you for what you're doing. And I'll visit with the chief of staff, and we've had this conversation before with the master apprenticeship program. How do we get those people to get excited about that? Because the ones that are getting excited about it right now are employed with the tribe. They would have to leave their job and come and work for maybe $12, $14 an hour, and they can't afford that. Right. So what you're doing is good. The data that you guys are providing is what we need to strategize and move forward with it. But you're doing an outstanding job. I want to commend you for this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I'm curious, by any chance, are any of the classes just conversation in Cherokee?
The classes are on video. There is not an interactive part of it, except when the students would be contacting their actual instructor of record. So it really is a kind of a one-way street right now. We're hoping that will, Cherokee 2 will be going into they do utilize online. So it's kind of a blend. Can I say it like that? So they do have an opportunity to do interactive conversation, but not entirely.
Cherokee 2 will have more conversation implemented into that structure. Hugh Foley, many of you know, is creating that with Wade and with, overseer of the class. His name escapes me right now, but Wade Blevins and Hugh Foley are working on that for Cherokee 2, because Cherokee 2 is going to require a conversation
Yes,
to pass the class.
yeah.
What a,
I think, if you watch, you'll see they've got the first language speakers are always featured in each program. So, you've got a tremendous conversational quality about it. Because, you've got first language speakers actually having that opportunity to speak to us all in this format every time. And they use multiple first language speakers in this. That's what Counselor Byrd was talking about. We need to show them value. This is showing them value. It's giving them a platform to teach and to be seen by literally 100,000 plus people. Are there other questions or comments? Sean?
Yeah, I'm appreciative of what you're doing there. Teaching school, you can't teach them anything until you spark that interest. And you guys got them, according to the data that you've shared. You've got it. We're at a crucial time where we better keep it.
Right.
And, keep moving forward. And so I hadn't had a chance to read all of this, but does this count for did you say the foreign language requirement that a lot of
Yes.
college folks have to have?
Yes, this is a foreign language, 1 and 2. So when we have the 2 online, then we'll be eligible to offer it through in the spring. It will then become eligible for even on the high school level. So what this program is targeting is high school juniors and seniors, this specifically, and we're wanting to serve as many as possible, around 100 students, if at all possible, 150 students if we need to. We want to, we are doing this in conjunction with the language department. Everything we have done has been reviewed by them, certified by them, it's been looked over. So we're not out and doing some rogue language program by any means. This is real authentic language teaching with language speakers, first language speakers involved. And so students who enroll in this through the concurrent college program are eligible for up to 6 college hours. And it is funded, so there's no cost to the student, through tuition waivers provided by Rogers State University and by a scholarship program provided through the Cherokee Nation Language Department.
So the 6 hours, it covers Cherokee 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
All right, and that's great, and we've all talked about different ideas, and, this may lead to something, incentive-wise, where it would be up to us to come up with some funding or something, but if they truly do well in these classes, and, the test is a good test, where they have, and I'm sure that they are, but where they have learned something,
Right.
this is just not really brainstorming, because we've all thought about it a lot, but if we could incentivize them to a discount on their tuition for the other classes that they have, to get a degree, just some kind of partnership where they do well in this Cherokee class, then here's you some money to pay for some other classes that you need or something, but partnership in the future like that, just expanding what we've already got. I see a lot of potential in this, and again, appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thank you. I just want to reiterate, though, we have them nibbling on the hook. We got to set the hook, and I need your help to set the hook.
Right.
Because I can email them out every day, but unless with the way the schools are going, I live in Broken Arrow right now, and even last week, they weren't even on campus. It's on again, off again, on again, off again. It's driving everybody nuts. So getting to the counselors to get to the kids is a challenge because of the on again and off again. So the more you can help spread the word, we can start setting some hooks, get kids engaged. Engage them with this is high priority.
Do you have can you provide us with a list of schools that either have or have not? Like in mine and Canaan's area, you know, we have a few high schools. And just, hey, Adair County, these schools have not responded to us, and that way we can get on the trail.
Yes,
If you could
Yeah.
yes, we
supply
can
us
get that list to you this week.
send that to Gail, and she can get that to us. So,
Yep.
thank you.
You bet.
And this, you want to introduce?
Yeah,
Jason?
this is Jacob Swicegood. He is with the university on the recruiting side. He's who I get the counselors to talk to, and we will even go out to the school and he will enroll them at the school. So that's how serious we are about this. We will go to the school and help the student enroll online, so they follow the procedure to get it done, and also to help get them, toward the funding from the Cherokee Nation, so they get that wrapped up as well.
I wanted to say that they use the word foreign language, and we've had in conversation, I could say that they were reluctant to use that word, but I think Sean had used it. In our conversations, we've quit using the words foreign language, and now we use the words second language
Yes.
instead of foreign language, because it's not foreign to us.
It's true.
Wes?
Or indigenous language.
Yeah.
But, no, I just wanted to get on, because I know when I was in high school, I did concurrent enrollment, and I didn't, NSU didn't have a program like this involved or offered. And I went to Sequoia High School, which is where then we had a lot of dorm students and a lot of kids that actually spoke it or knew of it. How long has the program been involved now with y'all?
Last fall.
How long has it been?
Last fall.
Last fall, okay. So the only thing I could say to try to help drum up, and I know it's been a difficult year, and I'm assuming you guys would, like you said, we'd travel to go enroll these students. Maybe there might be a presentation package like this, but where you take one of our first language speakers that you know is willing to travel with you and express in our language to these kids, these seniors, if we could get them there that are going in, or juniors that are going in their senior year, hey, here's what's available for you, and let them hear the language, let them see how beautifully it's spoken and what could be offered to them that way. It might be able to spark some interest in there, and even if you're going to some schools, like Counselor Critton had said, you come to Adair County to Westville and Stillwell, you get that lined up there to come visit those schools to speak to their juniors going into senior years. I'm sure Counselor Critton and Counselor Duncan would both be saying, hey, I want to go with you and meet the students and try to encourage them that this is a great program. And then, it might be something to look at and work with the Master Language Apprenticeship Program, how they're going to expand that, or how the council might look at trying to help expand that to where, here's your current enrollment. We're going to roll this into an option over where you have your Master Language Apprenticeship Program. That's going to go for additional years of your indigenous language, foreign language degree, to where you can go and actually teach it back in the schools that you come from or expand it outside the jurisdiction. And just try to give them more of a sense that this is not just learning about your heritage, which it is, and keeping it culturally intact and alive is important as keeping our rural communities alive, which is starting to dwindle. But maybe seeing it as this is a job. You're going to learn the language. You're going to learn your master apprenticeship program. You're going to get a degree in foreign language, and then you get to go into schools and go teach that as an actual paid job, and see it as a pathway of not just learning, but that might spark that interest with those kids. Hey, I can make money off this.
Sure.
And I think everybody's looking at that age when you're 18 going into college. Mom and Dad told me to go to college. It's because I got to make money. So how do you turn that into, we're protecting and we're trying to strive and push our language and culture forward to the next generation, but also that employment economic factor is something that I think a lot of kids, that's the only mindset that they're thinking of. They're not thinking of learning the language necessarily as I didn't, coming from a dad who's a speaker and going to all Indian school. That wasn't, when I was 18 years old, it wasn't my thought to say I need to learn it. I gone back 15 years ago, I guarantee you I'd be sitting here going, I wish I would have learned the language. I wish I would have done something. I wish I would have jumped involved when I had the time before I had a family and kids, which makes it more difficult. to learn it now, I think that just might be able to kind of spark that, just if there's a way we could take this, which is great, and just kind of start encompassing it to where we talk to these kids, this is now job opportunity, income opportunity for you as a career. You know, I think that's great. So, but, I mean, I think it's a really great idea that you guys are doing, and anything I could do to be a service, when you want to set up with Sequoia High School and go talk to them, I'll be right there with you guys. So,
Yeah, I'd be happy to, as I go out to the schools, include you in the email so you
yeah,
can come
okay.
with me.
Perfect, awesome,
You bet.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Chair.
Counselor Shambaugh.
I guess real quick, you know, a lot of kids won't go to college. They won't go for higher education. And, you know, a lot of these smaller schools around are having their after-school programs doing Cherokee. They're being taught Cherokee. And some of them are even talking about adding it to the curriculum. That would be a great starting point for you guys too, is getting all the small schools on board, because, you know, it's hard for people, you know, who don't go to college, and it's hard to get them to go anywhere to go learn, because it's, you know, it's hard to get gas money to get somewhere, get a ride, you know, and things are difficult. And, you know, like was brought up about social media, or not social media, but having an antenna as opposed to Wi-Fi. You know, the Cherokee Nation is trying to get Wi-Fi in more places, so there's learning, but getting those people to do that still in that setting will still be difficult. So, you know, it would probably be a good idea for some partnerships with the schools, with the nation, and just trying to get those things going in schools. So maybe later on, your program could even branch out to other locations, or you could have an on-location thing going on in different places where, you know, you're highlighting these different schools who are doing this, you're going and seeing it and promoting it through that also. So, you know, if you're trying to reach the masses, and that's what we really need to do if we're going to conserve our language, is, you know, we have to think outside the box a little bit about how we're going to get everybody involved and how we can do that.
Well, how wonderful will it be if we could get like Oaks Mission engaged and be part of the curriculum there?
Absolutely.
Because I've visited with the principal out there. She likes the idea.
Yeah.
But just getting them to engage, obviously, because they got so much going on.
Right.
But
And
wouldn't that be
that's-
wonderful to be able to have that as part of the curriculum?
Yeah, and even you're talking Kansas, Jay,
Right.
Grove, wherever, you know,
Right.
I'm just saying that because it's my district, but I know that they have those after-school programs. But gosh, that'd be a wonderful thing if, you know, you guys could branch out into that and maybe get involved in that too.
Well, thank you very much.
Any others? Yes, Counselor Petskowski.
Yes, what is this gentleman's name that's standing here?
Jacob.
My name is Jake Swicegood. I'm one of the recruiters at Rogers State University. I cover the eastern part of the state. I'm actually a member of the Cherokee Nation. I come from Concord, Oklahoma, where in these after-school programs, when we were in elementary school, they tried to teach us a little bit. So I'm all about this.
And can you tell me how to contact you?
It's
Okay.
in the handout here.
It is in
has
here,
all
because I
of
didn't
it.
see that.
Yes, if you look at this handout, it gives you the rundown and gives you contact information. On page 2, right at the top, it has some question answers, and it gives you contact information for Jake.
There it
And,
is, I see it, thank you.
He's a good person to visit with,
Thank you.
yes.
Anybody else? Well, I do want to express my gratitude for you coming and weathering last month's technology storm that we had. Clarice was a former member of our editorial board, and she's from Kansas, Oklahoma. So we can see we've got Concord, and Kansas here over in Claremore doing business, so we appreciate that. Thank you all for that great presentation, and I know this body is very interested in finding ways to help you out.
Thank you.
Reach the community better.
I'll leave the cards here if you want to.
Yeah, we'll pass them out. Thank you. No new business pending. Next meeting is scheduled for April 10th, May the what, 10th? Do we have a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Thank you.